Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in to the Water Bear podcast. As you can see, I have some in-house guests with me today. Usually I do everything virtually, but this episode is not only live, but it's also in person with my guests. So we're going to get started and introduce them here in a second. So again, welcome to the podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so that you can enjoy future content, future shows, and you can catch the drip with us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, if you want to follow me on other platforms, there's IG and TikTok accounts scrolling at the bottom. All right. So before I introduce y'all, this is something I do every show. So I always say a famous Aquarius. And then I'm going to have y'all tell y'all's birthday, and then I'll mention the famous person of each of your signs. Okay. All right. So a famous Aquarius is damn, why I draw a blank of the person I was gonna say. Damn it. Okay. It's Bob Marley is an Aquarius.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Bob Marley is an Aquarius. So with that said, I will introduce my guests, Ashley and Mike. So Ashley, I'll start with you. You could just tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself, and then of course your birthday too.
A little bit about myself.
Whatever you want to share.
So I'm Ashley.
Okay.
I don't really know what to say. I'm 5 foot tall, and I was born July 23rd.
Okay.
And yes. I don't know what else to say. I'm a health and life coach. And that's about it. That's all I have to say right now. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay. If you want, I have both of y'all's IG information. If you want me to flash it up, I will.
Yes,
if you don't, I won't. Okay. All right. So for those that want to follow Ashley, make sure you go ahead and do that. There's her information scrolling at the bottom there. So if you heard her birthday, she is a Leo. So we're going to talk about this. You said barely. Oh, yeah. You're right at the edge, right? So a famous Leo is Jennifer Lopez, and we're going to get to that a little bit. Actually, y'all's birthdays might be like a couple days apart.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think it's like really close. All right. And we also have Mike on the show with us. If you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and sharing your birthday too.
So, yes, my birthday is July 2nd. Cancer for sure.
All right.
A little bit about myself. I don't know what to say.
Right. It's like put on the spot, right? We have a lot of goodness, just so
yes, it's a lot out there, right? That can be said.
Right, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll learn a little bit more about me as the show, progresses. But just in short, I am originally from Washington, D.C. I moved to Texas about 6 years ago. Absolutely love Texas. Since I've been here, I've had a few business ventures, still working on a few.
He's a chef.
And
yes.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. We're gonna tell it if he didn't tell it, right?
Absolutely love cooking. I do have a passion for it, but that's one of my business ventures. But yeah, that's just about it.
Okay, cool. All right, so you are a Cancer. So a famous Cancer is one of my favorite artists, Missy Elliott.
Oh, really?
Her birthday's the
I
day
can totally
before
see
yours.
that, but I didn't know that. But I can totally see that for sure.
Missy Elliott is a Cancer.
Wow.
Okay. So we're going to kind of bounce around a little bit and try to fit a lot into this hour. But I want to start off with you, Ashley. I have a question for you. So I don't know if the viewers remember this or if y'all remember this, but there was this rumor going around that J-Lo was having dance auditions a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you heard about this, but she had everybody raise their hand if they were a Virgo.
Mm-mm.
And apparently what's being said, or the said thing, is that she told all of the Virgos to leave.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if she has smoked with Virgos, and the last episode was Virgos. So I'm curious, do you have a sign that you don't get along with or that you run away from? And how do you feel about Virgos?
So I don't even know all the traits of Virgos.
Okay.
But I don't run away from anybody until they give me a reason to.
Hey. Okay.
So
regardless of the sign. Okay.
That's what's up.
That's
fair. Maybe that's just me.
That's fair. Okay. All right. So Mike, I'll ask you the same question. Do you have a sign that you would say if you find out this person is that sign, that you run away from them?
Yeah, I've got a few actually.
Oh, okay, all right.
But the one that I probably would say stay away from in regards to like relationships, I would probably most certainly 100% say a Virgo for sure.
So this is not
really.
I just want to know the
No. You are doing the same thing I was going to do.
Because what am I missing?
So
I've never dated
Virgos to me are extremely great people to be friends with. Mm-hmm. But when you cross the lines to date, you learn them differently. You see them differently.
Okay.
They are.
And in what way? In what ways? Or if there's multiple ways?
Well, Virgos, in my experience, they don't know how to communicate. They don't communicate effectively. And oftentimes what they do is they will hold everything in until you get to that one moment where it explodes, and then you hear everything about yourself, and
okay.
I sound like
they lie a lot too.
They
lie a lot too. But
oh wow. Okay.
Tell me something. I need to write that.
Right. I know. Right. All right. So Virgo and Cancer is not a good match.
It's not a good match.
Apparently. It was funny though that you say that. So I have a lot of Virgo people, friends and family. Never really dated a Virgo, but the times I have maybe attempted to or tried, I can definitely see the communication part. Is true. I agree with that.
But they're amazing. But they're
excellent
people. They're excellent people.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that away at all. But I just will never date another Virgo.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is both of my parents are Virgos, so it would be interesting to get their take on their communication with each other. That's funny. But
wow.
Yeah. Okay
now.
All right. Okay. All right. So another thing that's interesting about this particular episode is we are kind of like Captain Planet, because what I mean is
I'm following.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So Mike is a water sign because he's a Cancer, the crab. So if y'all watch my stories and stuff, I was saying to watch out for that claw.
Crap about
Yes, and then I'm an air sign, so contrary to popular belief, people think Aquarius is a water sign because it's associated with water. But we're just carrying water. We're walking on land, or sometimes in the clouds. So we break
that down a little bit more. I need to know a little bit more.
And then Leo is, if I'm not mistaken, a fire sign. Yeah, which is, I don't know if I told you this.
That's right.
Yeah,
but
right.
My rising and my sun sign are both, rising and moon are both Leo.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Do y'all know?
No, I don't know mine. I don't know mine.
Okay. Okay. There's this website. I'm going to have to put the link in the description after the show, but you can find it with your birthday and the exact time that you were born, and the location. So like basically the city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some research and figure that out.
I've been thinking about that lately and I just haven't looked it up.
Okay. Cool. Well, all right. So we're going to keep going. Now, I usually don't do a whole lot of like pop culture stuff, but I feel like some of this stuff just happened like right on time. So I got to mention it for the show. Okay. So this came out in the news actually this week. So another one of your sign mates, Angela Bassett, which I would say she's probably my favorite actress ever. Of all time.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah, you do.
Me too.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah. So I don't know if y'all heard, but she's getting honored with an honorary Oscar.
Oh, for which?
It's just kind of
should have gave it.
Right, and that's kind of the vibe I get too. They're like maybe that they should have. So, and I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. Okay, so she's getting this honorary Oscar, and then there's this interview where she says that she actually was offered the part for Monsters Ball, but she turned it down. I didn't know that.
I didn't remember hearing
really?
That.
Okay.
I think I read that somewhere too.
Now,
she
what
doesn't do full frontals,
right?
And all that. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know that about her.
So wait, what did you say? I hit mom or something. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
My God.
Yeah, I think I can pick up maybe what you were saying.
Right. Just keep it moving.
So the person that did take the role, Halle Berry, and as we all know, she won an Oscar for it. She's also a Leo. So the question I have for you, Ashley, is there's certain things that people say about Leos. So one of the things that I've heard a lot is that Leos are very concerned with image and how they're portrayed. So maybe not even physically, but just how they appear to people. So would you say that that's correct, or do you care about that at all? Or?
I care about the way I present and what I bring to a room. But I don't necessarily care if the other person doesn't like that. I just care about what I'm bringing. Does that make sense? So I care about what impression I'm leaving on you when I'm coming in there. But if you're not feeling that, then I really don't care that much. You. Yeah, because my vibe is dope. So
hey,
I'm just saying.
I love it. Hey, that's what's up. Okay. All right. So, and after this, I'm gonna let y'all tell me what traits you think are your best, or the best and worst signs, or best and worst traits of your sign. Yeah.
But on that,
no,
I know you're gonna talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
People tell me because where my birthday is that I don't act fully Leo.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe you can shed some insight on that later on, because that's what people tell me.
True. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see. I mean, not true as in I don't think you're fully Leo, but true as in people will say that based off of the birthday. Which is funny because most of the Leos that I know are July, just like most of the Cancers I know are July.
My dad's an August Leo.
Yeah. Really? See, I don't know too many August Leos. So do you think he fits the Leo mode?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So does that Leo energy sometimes kind of clash, you think?
Not with him, but maybe that's because he's my father. But
that's fair.
No. A lot of people tell me I have a lot of Cancer traits as well because of where my birthday falls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is something I saw. Well, actually, I'll say I've seen it come up a few times over the last maybe like 2 or 3 weeks as I was like researching stuff about Cancer. So I can't really say that I've experienced this, but I just want to get your take on it. So one of the things that a lot of people say is a toxic trait of Cancers is emotional manipulation. So would you say that you've ever emotionally manipulated a situation or somebody? And do you think that Cancers in general have that trait or the capability to have that trait?
So yes, I do absolutely think that Cancers have that trait.
That's but
I don't have that trait. I don't manipulate people emotionally.
Okay.
Because I don't like it being done to me, so I won't do it to anyone else. I have also dated a Cancer who was emotionally manipulative. And that is a very toxic trait. And I think quite a lot of Cancers hold that trait. I don't though.
Okay.
My emotions about a situation are real. I'm not going to use it to get an advance or to.
Yeah, I've never seen you be like that.
I think that's because the type of person you are, though. But if you wanted to be,
I could.
You could tap into it.
Yeah,
so I actually could.
That's what I mean. So
that's a really good point.
That's a really good point. Because of the person you are,
you just don't.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah,
right.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I'll start with you then, Mike. What if you just took a random poll of like, let's say 100 people? What is the one trait that you think people would say this is top Cancer trait? And then what is the worst trait that you think people would say?
So I think the poll of people would say that the probably the worst and the best trait would be emotion, because cancers are emotional people. Some cancers are it's a negative trait for some cancers, and it's a really good trait for others. I think for me, it's one of my best traits.
I would agree,
because I don't consider myself to be an emotional person, but I'm sensitive to people and situations, which can present itself or manifest itself in emotions or through my emotions.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't like to title myself as an emotional being, because I'm not an emotional being.
Well, I think sometimes when people say emotional,
you be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, because you assume that emotional is crybaby. You assume that emotional is you get bent out of shape about everything, and that's not it. That's not the case.
I'm definitely in tune with all of my emotions.
Right. Yeah,
I will say that. I will definitely say that. But yeah, that would probably be the best and the worst trait of a cancer. And they say that we are extremely toxic.
Oh, in what way? How?
Just about always.
Oh, not always. Yeah, not extremely toxic.
Because it's almost just like the question that you just asked me. I'm using because cancers are manipulative people. So they use whatever they have to manipulate people. So that could be a toxic trait.
Now, I will say this, and I've never said this on any of the shows. So I have said on a lot of shows that I feel like Cancer and probably Virgo there's no science I have to back this up or stats, but I feel like if you counted up all the people in the world, most of them are going to be Virgos. And I swear, I know so many Cancers and Virgos. A lot of them.
But I don't, though.
Really? You don't?
No. I mean, I know some.
Maybe they'd be like walking around you. You don't know that they.
You don't know what they are.
Right. They moving around like ghosts.
I'm trying to know.
You don't know a lot.
Now, my family, like my brother is a Cancer.
Really?
And,
okay.
Yeah, some of my nephews, but I don't know a whole lot.
Really?
I just feel like probably the best people to be connected to, though. Seriously.
I can't say I would fight that, and honestly, I feel like so Aquarius people, for those that don't know, are extremely stubborn, and we stubborn too. The only sign that got us beat, we not number one, is I would say Taurus. Taurus is
much about Taurus.
The most stubborn to me. They are extremely stubborn. But Cancers, and I don't know if I don't think this is emotional manipulation, but Cancers, if there was one sign to get me to do something, it'd be like, oh no, I don't want to do that, or I'm dead set on I'm not going to do it. And the sign that would make me change my mind, like, okay, it would be Cancer. It would be Cancer. They'd be the ones to be like, let's bungee jump. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, let's go.
But like, oh, it's gonna be so cool, and it's gonna be, and then next thing you know,
I think I got one to add.
Okay.
Intuitiveness. Cancers are extremely intuitive.
Yeah.
Oh, you bring up a good. Oh, thank you. Okay, so you kind of skipped ahead to something I was gonna mention. Okay, so, and I want to get the Leo traits too that you think they're best and worst. So Cancer, I totally agree. Cancers are very, 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 very intuitive. The thing that sometimes I wonder about Cancers is, well, it's twofold. So I feel like Cancers are very intuitive with, or outwardly with other people. Mm-hmm. But I feel like sometimes they kind of doubt their greatness, which doesn't match what they tell other people to do.
Sense.
You know what I mean? Sometimes.
True.
But it's like, hey, y'all dope. Like, just go. Like,
that's very true. Yeah. That's very true.
Okay.
Because I could tell somebody about themselves and, pour into other people and, make other people feel better about themselves. But when it comes to me, I don't necessarily believe it for myself. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's a Cancer trait or what, but most Cancers that I know are that way.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, cancer, if you want somebody to manifest something, like just stick around to cancer. I mean, if it's something that you want and they just put it out there and it just seemed like it just poof, it just, it just happens. And I think
we're magicians.
Hey, abracadabra. Yes. But yeah, I think, and y'all let me know if y'all agree, but I think sometimes there's a very fine line, and not taking anything away from it, because I do think cancers are very intuitive. I do. I had, and I think I may have told this story maybe last season or something, but I had a situation where I was trying to get out of a certain job, and I said, out of frustration, to one of my friends, like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out of here by Labor Day." And I was so serious about that thing. I was like, if I don't even have a job, I'm leaving. That was how bad I wanted to go. So fast forward, everything fell into place where I accepted the new job, left everything like September 2nd. It was, or by that date. And so one of my friends had to call it out, and she was like, it happened. You said it and it happened. So what I'm curious to know from you, Mike, do you think that can the line sometimes be blurred between intuition and manifestation? Because I've heard on the flip side of knowing a lot of cancers and having like cancer friends and things like that, sometimes y'all intuition be so spot on, but I might hear things and I'd be like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, you're right about that, but don't say this part because we don't want that to come true."
Right. I don't think that there's ever been a time where I've had an intuition about something and I spoke it like out loud that it didn't happen. Like, so I'm really particular, and I'm trying to be really particular about what I say and what I manifest, because generally whatever I put out, it generally comes back in. I think the intuitive part would be a cancer trait, but manifestation goes well beyond that. So yeah, the lines are definitely blurred, because intuition and manifestation are totally two different things.
Okay, cool. I was just curious to get your take on that. Okay, so Ashley. All right. So what would you say is the best and worst trait of a Leo by other people that they would say?
Best and worst. I would say the worst trait is that Leos think they know it all.
Really?
Yes. So that's what I've been told.
He like, yeah.
And I could say that for some of the other Leos, like when we feel passionately about something. Now, it has to be something that we're passionate about, because that's like part of our sign too. It's the passion side, which I would say that could be the best trait and maybe the worst. So,
I've been friends with you for years.
So
right,
yeah. So if that passion gets behind something, then it's very hard to prove, like just to like talk that Leo out of it. Yes.
Okay.
So maybe that goes both ways, I think, because I think the passion part is a good part too.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the best or the worst. I'm just saying. And part of it too is a lot of Leos, because they carry that confidence, and like when they come into a place, it usually affects the area. So that can be a very positive trait for a Leo.
Okay.
So I mean, there's a few different things, but
y'all have this energy that is, God, unheard of. Like when I first met you, when you walked into the office, I was like, wow, it was some energy. I was like, what is it? Y'all have this energy that's just like undeniable.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, y'all do, for real. I have a lot of few Leo friends and a lot of Leo people in my family. Some of them have passed on, but you knew when they were in the room.
Yeah.
It was like in a good way. In a good like it was this energy, like you said, that was there. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I want to get into, I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit. All right. So for those that don't know, and this is maybe your first time hearing about it, y'all have a podcast called Mindchop.
I was like, we we didn't say nothing about
Yes,
that.
yeah. I'll make sure.
I was just nervous, y'all. We all right now. We okay.
It's live. That's all.
Yes, that's it. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how the concept came together and like what made y'all decide to do the podcast.
So I'll start first and then I'll let her finish because she can speak so much better than I can. But originally, because we spend a lot of time together, and whenever we're together, we have some really deep conversations. And for us, it's healing. For us, it's kind of like recalibration for us because we get to be raw and honest and real with each other. And that's something that the world is missing. You know, the world needs a safe place to go and to see people, you know, on the same path. They're trying to be on the same path. They're human. They're making mistakes. They're trying to, you know, be better human beings and all of that stuff. So, and in our conversation, some real things happen. So we decided to do the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much said it.
You're like, that's it.
It really did birth out of just that deep friendship where there's nothing hidden. And the only place that most people have that with is God, you know, because it's very hard to be like, I feel very, you feel that? It's very hard to be like laid bare, quote unquote, in front of people. You know, like you can be completely like with no clothes on, but people still won't. You won't be able to lay out what you have on the inside. So, anyways, that it birthed out of that because when you're able to really be open and again, like I said, laid bare, you can pull out things, you can heal things can mend. But if you're tucking things away and if you're hiding, then the healing can never really come. And so, we out of that thing, we were like, okay, people need to be able to feel free to heal is really what it comes down to because there's so much, I guess, freedom in just being open and being vulnerable and being able to like, okay, this is me. Let me figure this out. So that's where the Mindchop piece came in.
And a lot of people are afraid to face themselves, and that's too kind of what it's about too. You get this in your face. You have no other choice but to sort of kind of face yourself and break down those things that are, you know, your detriment or holding you back or keeping you in that particular place being stagnant. And that's really important for all people. You know, face yourself. What is, you know, what are your issues? Important.
Yeah.
You know. So
Huh. Okay. I love it. And y'all touched on it a little bit already. So I know the show or the podcast isn't a preachy show, but it has spiritual elements. And knowing y'all, it's like it's no matter what the topic is, after a while, I think people can't help but to feel the spiritual side.
I was going to take out yours right now.
Hey, that's all right.
You feel that? Yeah, I feel it. Okay.
No, I think that's cool. I and you know, even with me doing this show, I consider myself a spiritual person too. I don't know if this is an Aquarius thing. It's probably partly just me too. That whole being naked in front of people, very few people get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have learned with Aquarius, it's like, okay, how many layers do I gotta get?
I'm still peeling.
Okay. Where are you?
What'd you say? Rolling and continue.
I said that's like pulling teeth.
Oh, not pulling teeth. Yeah. But I'm better than I was.
I mean, progress is everything.
Yeah. Baby steps.
No, I'm saying in general with an Aquarius.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But too, I mean, that's partly a sign of a Cancer too, because believe it or not, Cancers can be extremely stubborn. They can.
And kind of private.
Well,
if they don't.
Probably is a better word.
Yeah.
Private is a better word. I agree. Yeah.
I can see that.
But you were saying,
I still feel like I'm on both sides. But anyway,
you good?
Keep going.
I'm sorry.
No, one question. I've never talked about this on the show because I know what my intent for it is, and I know, and I'm confident and secure in my spirituality. But I just want to hear from y'all. Do you think things like astrology and spirituality can coexist?
I think yes.
Okay. And why?
Go ahead.
No.
I don't know how to answer the question. But I think that they sort of kind of work together in a sense. And a lot of times, a lot of people, and I've read this too, that a lot of people say it's just coincidental that, all of the people who were born in this month or this time, share the same traits, or it's coincidental, whatever. I don't believe that. I think that it's a type of energy that people share based on their birthdays. I don't really know how to answer that, but
well, that's what you said is true. I think,
yeah. So, and to be honest, I never really thought about it until recently, because I never really delved in or dived in. Is that the right word? Dived in, delved in.
I think you said delve is right.
Okay, into astrology. I just never really did it because of my spirituality.
Sure, same.
But during that time, I was spiritual in a different way. It was something that my grandmother had taught me, and I knew God a different way. But in my life growing up and seeking my own spirituality, I learned that they do coexist. It's a spirit. And a lot of times people say the universe and things like that. I don't think that they're making the universe a God. They're just saying the universe because that's kind of where all of it is.
Everything lives.
It lives in the atmosphere, in the universe. So yes, to answer your question, they can coexist.
Okay.
I feel like it can too, in the sense of.
I hope that made sense.
It did. Yes, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel like it can too, because there's always greater things that we don't fully understand, and because it's not just the earth, and we know that. So I feel like everything influences another, and we also see God in everything. Because that's just the way it is, But I feel like there's a place for it. I think my only issue sometimes with astrology is that I will never fully brand somebody as being this, because we're people, the way we live, the way we're made, and so we develop, and we may be able to, change some things, So I hold it loosely.
I agree with that.
I agree.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Because there are certain characteristics that you can change and work on.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, this characteristic is specific to the Cancer.
Yeah.
Because that's a characteristic or a trait that I could maybe work on.
Yeah.
And change.
Yeah.
So it's no longer a trait. Because
it is too much to be coincidence. I'm just.
Because there are certain, not to make a generalization, but there are certain characteristics of people that are born around the same time that it's like, okay, y'all do. Which is not a bad thing, but it's like you just do share that common thing, whatever it is. Yeah. And I think it's, and this is kind of, I don't know, again, I think it's just a me thing. I'm not even gonna put this on Aquarius. I look at things from many different sides. So what I mean is, I don't think at all, and actually since doing this podcast, I think it's one of those things like you get a new car and then you see that particular car on the road all the time. So now when I read the Bible, I've seen a lot of examples of astronomers and astrology, and I'm like, this was in the biblical days.
They don't talk about it. They don't talk about the actual magicians that are in the Bible. But they were there. So it's like there are things in there that point to the reality that something else is happening. I think the problem sometimes falls in when we worship that. And there's a line in it, to me personally.
I agree.
I think that, everybody has like gifts and talents and stuff. And I do believe that people can use astrology to heal other people.
In what way?
You have like people who do hypnosis, not in a way to be like witchcraft type-esque, but to sort of kind of put you into a space where you could go to the source of what issues or where things derive from. So I do believe in that. I do believe in it for sure.
I've done it before. Don't y'all shun me. I've done it, but
and that it's one of those things where if we break ourselves down as people. You know, we have a body, we have a spirit, we have all of that. And so it's sometimes I think the fear of breaking us down to to build us back up, chopping those pieces up.
Yes.
I think it's just a fear of going too far, because we tend to go too far as people sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that fear sometimes is what causes like, no, don't do that.
Right.
But I think once you get more into the knowledge of things, you can play with it. You can not just play with it, but there are
be responsible.
Great things that you can do with it if
Yeah.
you are actually studying and paying attention to where your mind is going.
Yeah. And I think too, with that thought in mind too, the flip side of that is you can study it and so much to where you get so interested in all these things where it does kind of become a god. So that's that's why I do agree with both of y'all. Like, you're not making the traits so absolute about everybody. But I do agree with what you said too, Mike, about the people using their signs for healing, because I feel like cancers, your nature, I feel like cancers are the kind of like the nurturer of the zodiac. And I think even when you look up stuff about cancers, I think y'all are called the mother of the zodiac, or mother, father, whatever you call it. Right. Not the mother.
But yes, we are definitely nurturers, and that's
godly.
Believe it or not, I've been in situations or relationships that were toxic as crap, but in the end of it, me being who I am and being the nurturer that I am, healed the person afterwards.
Wow. That's dope. Yeah. And even with Leo too, I feel like
I carry that.
The boldness of Christ is exemplified in Leos, because to me, Leos just have a certain boldness about them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I thought I was timid.
No, you said you thought you were timid.
No.
I almost cussed, and we talking about.
I was like, I never caught that. But I was like, okay.
Not
I'm just trying to,
Yeah. But yeah, it's true. And then the whole like you said too, the hypnosis thing. Like so if y'all haven't, go back to season 1, episode 3, and there's a hypnotist, I guess you could say, and she's a numerologist. And so even beyond the astrology part, and I've definitely found this to be true, is the energy that your birthday, like the day of the month, that carries. Because the weird thing with me, like I have siblings, we all have the same dad but different moms, and we're all 4s. We all have 4 energy, because we're all born on the 4th, and then my other sister's born on the 13th. And I always thought that she was the odd one out because her birthday wasn't 4 like us, until I talked to the numerologist, and she was like, no, she's a 4 too, because it's 1 and 3, and then 2 and 2 is 4. So
see, when you get in that part, I'm like,
it's like,
I like man.
Right. I don't either though, for real. So that's a factor too, because the kind of I don't want to say rule of it, but the idea is when you meet. So like for me being born on the 4th of the month, regardless of the sign, if I meet somebody that's also the 4th of the month, more than likely we're going to have a strong connection because of the day of the month.
So my mom's due date was July 4th, but I came on the 2nd.
Hey, that's interesting.
You got 4 energy. We just playing.
Gonna make you
yeah.
I was just trying to be a part
in my head. That's right.
I'm a 4. I really
That's right.
Right. I could be a 1. I don't know.
Like I'm dead.
But yes. So I want to talk about too, just if y'all want to, just a little bit more in depth before so there's this game that I play with everybody towards the end of the show. It's called Dead in the Water. and it's basically it's a this or that. So the thing that you can do without of the two, that's what you would throw back in the water, or that's the thing that you would get rid of.
Okay.
But before we get to that, what are some of your passions? And I'll just ask each of you, and it could be related to things that you're doing now, maybe in the future, but in the next, let's say 5 years, like what's on your bucket list? And Mike, I'll start with you.
So as I was saying when we first started the show, I had a few business ventures. So one of my real passions, honestly, is cooking. I don't know, it's therapeutic for me. And I developed that as a kid growing up. I always stayed in the kitchen with my grandparents, and just developed a love and a passion for cooking. So in the next 5 years on my bucket list is to have the most amazing food truck chain, to also have a restaurant that is reflective of the food truck, and also the catering side of it that is also reflective of the food truck and the restaurant. I'm also working on a cookbook journal that I am actively working on. It should have already been
I was going to mention that if you didn't.
It should have already been done, but it's not,
it's coming. It's coming. It's on the way.
But I'm working on that as well. And I'm working on a seasoning line as well, spices. So the next 5 years, I will have the food truck, the restaurant, the catering, the book, the spices, and the online store.
Okay.
That's manifestation. That's that cancer.
Hey, that's right. That's that cancer energy. Yes. All right. And Ashley, what about you?
All right. So I'm multifaceted. But no, my main passion is seeing people brought to wholeness. And so that's why I'm delving into health and life coaching for that reason. And I also have products that help with different people's ailments that different people have. And so my passion is to see that progress in the next 5 years to where the product line will help with a variety of different ailments from mental to physical.
Wow. Okay.
And for the life coaching practice to have the clients that will they have the success stories in their life, whether it's business, relationships, all across the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I can say I can vouch for
both just about to say
both of this. Yeah.
But anyway, go
ahead. The body butter that I got from you was, I'm telling you, I was scraping that tube out. I was like,
it is really
it's bomb. Yeah. And it is healing. It's funny that you mentioned that because I had a couple of I never had like eczema or anything like that, but just like a couple of little spots on my skin. And it was after like 4 days, it was gone. Yeah.
So that's the objective. Everything I put out, whether it's something that I'm speaking or a product that I put my hands to, the objective is for healing.
I love it. And Mike too, with the food.
That's
it's hidden.
So
listen. The seasoning too. I tried to see the seasoning is bomb. So y'all gonna love that. Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes, very good. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this game. So I'm gonna ask you each 5 questions, and hopefully y'all can't see them. Just sitting right here. Okay, all right.
I ain't got good sight. You can barely see us.
All right. So Ashley, I will start with you.
Okay.
And so I guess we won't be able to hear it, but I'll start the music for the people that are watching. They'll be able to hear it in the background. Right. Had to choose, which one would you throw away of locks or twists?
Oh, come on. You know I'm a hairstylist.
I know. So the questions are kind of tailored to y'all too a little bit.
Rough. I mean, I'm not gonna lock my hair, so I cannot throw away my twist.
Okay, so you would throw away the locks.
Grudgingly.
If you had to.
Grudgingly.
Okay, grudgingly. All right. Locks, gotta go in the water.
Rough. I think I might take that back. That's tough, y'all.
All right. Okay, so next question. Religion or spirituality?
How are you?
Oh, are you asking?
No,
me?
it's your question.
Oh, it's me. I mean, we all have our definitions, but you gotta be spiritual.
I agree. Yeah,
it's
I
all
would
about
throw away
relationship.
religion too.
Yeah, it's all about relationship with God. So.
Yeah, I agree.
In the trash.
Hey, in the trash. I'm not religion.
You are the weakest.
Goodbye. Yes. All right. So mac and cheese or yams?
Ooh.
Yams. Because I love mac and cheese
so much. That's a
more
meal by
often
itself.
than yams. Even though I love yams, but I do mac and cheese more often. You know what I'm saying? Because I could do mac and cheese with a burger. I could do mac and cheese with some
It's
roast.
versatile.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes are too, though, but
No, yams. So you talking about
Well,
black people
just,
them.
yams.
Them
Yeah.
yams. Now, because I do sweet potatoes all the time. But yams, it has to, for me, it has to go with a certain food. I'm not gonna put yams with certain things.
Me neither.
Now, regular sweet potatoes out. But that's not what we're talking about.
I'm glad you said that.
So yams in the trash.
Yams in the trash. Okay. Yeah, I can't get rid of mac and cheese.
Oh, this one here.
I love cheese.
But you see it already? Okay.
You ain't supposed to be looking.
Mary J. Blige or Tony Braxton? Who you throwing away?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Disclaimer.
I can't wait.
This is rough.
Really?
Okay. So let me lay out that. Okay. I love Tony Braxton because of her influence at her time. Right? However, I'm gonna say Mary J because of her longevity in the game. And she's come out with album after album from the time she was young till now. And Tony can't say that same thing. And I think that Mary J, Mary J's influence on the culture. She has her own right. Like, you know, Keisha Cole, people try to come up behind her, but Mary J is just her. Yeah. You know, is she a better singer? No. But you know,
I agree.
You know,
yeah.
So but she has I don't want to though. Tony is rough. But I had to lay out my explanation as to why. Because Tony Braxton is she can never beat Tony Braxton singing.
Never.
I mean, never on
any day, any hour.
It doesn't matter. So if we say who's a better singer, I'm gonna say Tony any day. Right. Now, but Mary J. Blige's longevity speaks for itself, and the way that she's been able to kind of maneuver in the culture.
That's Monet.
Yeah,
we can't throw away Monet.
Monet Tejada. She was Puerto Rico.
Right, Puerto Rico.
So that's why, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Tony.
Dang, that's tough. That feels blasphemous to say that.
To throw away. Yeah,
but I had to just lay out why. I had to lay out why. You know, when we put culture side by side. Okay, we can move on.
No, I love it. Okay. Yoga or Pilates?
Pilates.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Because let me tell you, so one of my female friends.
Wait. Which one we keeping and which one we throwing?
Oh, the Pilates. So you're naming the one that you're throwing away. Oh, you would keep Pilates.
Let me hear you what you was going to say.
It's not a good answer. I'm just giving commentary. One of my female friends who's also a Leo, this was like when we were in college. I used to make fun of her doing Pilates because at that time it was kind of like, I guess, up and coming. But as far as like people like widely knowing about it, I was like, oh, this is easy. I was like, I can do this.
Oh, no, indeed.
No. I don't even think I got 5 minutes in. I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's why I would throw it away.
So I would, this one is tough for me too because I liked Pilates for a very long time because when I didn't want to tap into the spiritual side of yoga, and I still don't go into some deep things with yoga. Pilates was there for me, but there wouldn't be a Pilates without yoga. So you can't.
That's fair.
You can't throw it in the trash. You know, because there would be no Pilates.
Like you got to throw one out.
No, I'm saying
you got to make a choice.
I'm saying you can't throw yoga in the trash because there would be no Pilates without it. So Pilates got to go.
Line's gotta go. Okay.
Yeah, Line's gotta go.
All right. Okay, so Mike, you are up next. All right. You might have seen some of these already.
Let's see. I do.
Yeah, because he reads.
Get a little head start.
Oh, I don't even like the first one.
Too late.
Huh? I know. I saw the first one, but
You
let's
did?
go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Peach cobbler or pound cake?
Ooh. Father.
Okay, so let me tell you this.
Can we
I
put
love
both
both
of them
peach cobbler and pound cake.
Hey.
I love them both,
That'd be
right?
good.
I've tried to make a good pound cake. I think I got close to one time. I'm still working on that.
I
But
have that recipe.
she does, and she makes a really good one. I really prefer peach cobbler over pound cake, so pound cake has to go. For me,
Really?
yes.
Mm. This pound cake, I gotta keep pound cake. I'm throwing peach.
Well, it was my question.
I know.
And
He
I'm
said
throwing
it's my
pound
turn.
cake
But
away.
I've seen you eat more pound cake than peach cobbler.
Well, yeah, because and that's true. I mean, that is
Uh-oh.
true.
Uh-oh.
That is true because peach cobbler is more diabetical.
No,
cake.
it's not.
It is.
And
It
my
feels
pound cake
like
I
it's
had
more.
is a pound of
Well, your pound cake is different, so I would eat your pound cake because it's not. Yeah, I mean, yours is really good. Now I can eat yours all day, every day. But traditionally,
Yeah, we
when
don't
we
do
make
that,
peach
no.
cobbler, we pouring everybody's sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's, but pound cake.
Okay, I'm
but
sorry. I'm all
peach
over
cobbler for
No,
me
no,
is
you're
what
good.
I prefer over pound cake. Anybody else's pound cake? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
That's
answer.
what you were.
I'm throwing away peach cobbler.
Okay.
You never had my peach cobbler?
That's because you don't make it.
Oh.
I don't believe you eat it for real.
I do.
He made it up. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't think I made peach cobbler.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Recently.
Yeah.
I used to make it all the time.
I used to not like the consistency of hot peaches. It's the weird
Oh,
thing.
that
I'm
makes
big on
sense. Because they're
texture.
more like slippery when they're.
So
Yeah.
my thing is I love
Yeah.
peach cobbler, but I like more of the cakey part of it than the peaches.
Mhm.
Same.
So that's why I would choose it. Now, if it's somebody who's got more peaches than the cake part of it or the doughy part of it, then I throw it away because I don't want it. But so yeah. But if I make it, it's gonna be
You like
more
his
cakey.
peach.
Yeah.
I like mine.
Nobody knows what it tastes like. But it's good. I'm sure it's good because it's good.
It
Okay,
is.
I was offended on the pound cake, but you keep moving. I'm sorry.
No, I gotta. Okay. I just thought of this. I'm gonna make this real quick, and then I'm gonna keep going. So this is a little. I think I've had Aquarius energy since birth, because what I mean is, so my dad is also a chef, and he used to cater for. So if y'all are under 35, you might not even know what this is, but Southwestern Bell, before they were, what is it now, AT&T? Because before then,
Bell
it was
South.
Bell South.
Bell South.
Yeah, Bell
Yeah.
South. Yeah, it was
That's
Bell
a long
South.
time
It was a
ago.
long time ago. This
I used
was
to work
like,
there.
huh?
I used to
Used to
work
work
for Bell
there.
South.
Yeah.
Mm.
So my dad on the summers, he would go cater for Bell South, like for their lunches. So it would be like a whole hot lunch. So he might do like oxtails, greens, just like soul food lunch, whatever. And he made peach cobbler. It was this one lady that come through the line every day, and she'd be like, "Make sure you give me the crust." And me and my dad would just look at each other, and we wouldn't say nothing because we'd be like, "Okay, you said that like Monday, Tuesday, and we on Wednesday. We know at this point you want the crust." And so Aquarius people, I feel like we hold stuff in until we can't no more. And yeah, one day she came up in the line. It was either a Thursday or a Friday. I can't remember which day it was. I know it was towards the end of the week. And she said she wanted the crust, and I just lost it. I think I was probably like 16, 17. I was like, "We know you want the crust." My dad was like, "Oh my God, you gonna get me kicked out of here?" Yeah. She did, but she was like, "I'm not gonna see you." So sometimes going off, it has its benefits.
I mean, I believe that.
Sometimes.
You know, I learned that.
In context. Yeah.
I'll get into that, but yeah.
I'm really curious to see what you're gonna say for this one. Tasha Cobb or Kiera Shears, who we throwing away?
Why would you do that? That is straight Satan, straight from Hades.
It's like it's Holy Mary. They class.
Oh,
Except for they both can.
Right.
Like,
They both can
They
really
both
sing.
like
Yeah.
singing on top
man.
from the same level.
Yeah.
Woo.
So this is definitely a hard
Yeah.
one. I'm a fan of both of those young ladies. They're both super amazing, and they are probably on repeat on all of my gospel playlists at home and in my car. So I love them both. Man,
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. I'm going to say Tasha Cobbs.
Okay.
Because it's almost kind of like, you know, what?
Wait, in the trash or keep?
Tasha Cobbs.
You're throwing away.
I'm throwing her away. I'm sorry, Tasha. I love you. I love you. Oh, but Kiara Sheard. I love Kiara because she reaches all people. Young, old, middle age, it doesn't make a difference. She's just a radical young lady. She's relatable. She's kind of hood-esque. Yes, you know what I'm saying? But she carries the spirit of God, and like her music will just take you to where you need to go. And she's the legacy of the Clark sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So you never throwing him away too.
Right. So I'm sorry, Tasha, in case you get to see this. I hope you do, but
yes, we sorry. But and Kiara, I just kind of, this probably isn't a valid reason, but Kiara Sheard is just funnier to me.
She is. Listen, that's the only artist that I know that funny. Wig can fall off and she's still at a straight beast mode. Pick the wig up and just start around. Yeah, but yeah, that's the
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, I said.
I have to agree. She has to go. Whoops. All right. So solitude or multitude? So
come on.
This could be so it could be so I'll give you the mindset that I was thinking when I created the question. So I was thinking as far as like you wanting to either have majority alone time or majority of time with a lot of people around. So that's what I meant with that.
Yeah. It's still a difficult question because my thought process on those two words are a little bit different.
Okay. Well, answer it based off of what I just said, but then also answer, based off of your thought.
I don't need to be around a lot of people all the time.
You know you're gonna
multitude
people
in that regard.
It's a lot after a while.
My solitude and my peace is more important than longevity of people or friends or
Okay.
It's peace over everything.
Okay. And so would that be your same answer from your okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So we got, let me see, 2 more. All right. So theme park or water park?
So listen. Okay, listen. I've got to answer this question this way. I'm a water sign. We love water, right? We love the beach. We love the pools and all this other stuff. Ain't finna mess with the water parks like that, because that, gravity takes over at some point in the water slide, and I ain't finna do that. And so, and especially if it's a high, like water slide, and you gotta, go down in the speed, and then you gotta go all the way to the bottom. You might not make it back up. So I'm just gonna throw the water park away. Give me the beach instead of the pool. Okay. But I really love theme parks. I really do love theme parks. So the water park had to go.
Gotta go. All right.
Even in this 115 degree.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. I would say the same thing. Okay. So advice seeker or advice taker? And this is in regards to yourself, which one you feel more comfortable with.
I don't always take advice.
Did you say doesn't?
I'm good at giving it. I'm really good at giving advice. I give great advice, but I don't always take it. Take it.
So, and this isn't I don't think this is a boastful question, and maybe it is because I feel like I'm hard to take advice to. And I want to hear your take on it. I feel like I'm hard to take advice from people because my mind is like a Rubik's Cube. So by the time I settle on a decision, I already probably thought about what you just about to tell me. And I've already weighed out, no, that's not going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Aquarius thing?
I think
that is just an individual.
I meant the thinking part.
Oh, that I know that part is. I would say, the analytical part. Yeah. I would say that's kind of Aquarius. But what would be your reason?
The way that I want to answer that question, we're not going to answer it that way.
Oh, no, it's okay. If it's a curse word or something.
It's not a curse word. And this is another Cancer trait. Cancers are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-condemning. They don't always believe the best for themselves. So it's hard to accept advice. So I'll explain it like this. A compliment to me, the way that I process it, is not a compliment. It's like, obviously they see something that's wrong with me. Why are they giving me a compliment? Like, I don't always take a compliment as a compliment.
As a compliment, at face value.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
But that might not be a Cancer trait. That might be just be a me thing. I don't know.
That might be a Cancer trait because I know several Cancers that are kind of sort of like that to some degree. But I also think too, may not be as crazy with the analytical part as Aquarius. But I feel like for Cancers, when y'all settle on a decision too, it's a good reason behind it.
Yeah.
So
it may take us a minute to make the
decision.
Yeah. But when we make the decision, once we put our mind to do something, there is no stopping. No hell on earth can stop us from doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a process of making that decision. And there's so many things about that go through a Cancer's mind just based on me being a Cancer before we make a decision and before we can accept advice. It's good to hear, but processing it is rough for a Cancer because, again, too, of their emotions. You know what I'm saying?
For Leo, I don't know.
Yeah, because Cancers will take every piece of that.
Like typically, because I'm a little bit different sometimes, so I don't fully go with the Leo thing sometimes. So I don't know.
I feel like Leos can be a toss up with advice. Or the ones I've dealt with, like
it's a toss.
They might take it.
It depends on what the advice is and when it's presented.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree.
So we're gonna throw away advice taker.
No, advice taker. Okay. All right. So don't want to take the advice. All right. So that we are pretty much at the end of the show, and thank you both, Ashley and Mike, for coming on. Make sure that y'all subscribe, go follow them. I'm gonna put this ticker down there one more time, so make sure you follow Ashley on Instagram, both of her accounts. Same for Mike. Make sure you follow him too, and make sure that you follow and subscribe to the Mindchop podcast on YouTube. Yes. So make sure y'all looking out for that. Also, next Friday, if you're in the DFW area, make sure you come out to the People's Last Stand. You can join me. I'll be there from 6 to 8 for the launch of my new poetry book. It's called Heads and Tails.
Be there.
So if you get a chance, to be next Friday.
Be there.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You're welcome. Yes, it's been great. And make sure y'all tune in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, all of that. And next week's episode is Aquarius and Gemini. So they'll make history. I'll have the second couple for a full-length episode. So my friends Dina and Dominic. Dina's the Aquarius and her husband is the Gemini. If you look up compatibility with the signs, Aquarius and Gemini are they're like match made in heaven. Now, I've never dated a Gemini, so I can't. Well, I can't vouch, but they could. But I will say, dope friends. I would definitely say that they're dope friends. Wait, what'd you say?
We gonna move on.
Oh, we go. Okay.
We're
gonna go right on past them.
Yeah.
Okay. But so that show is gonna be next week, and then another one of my Aquarius friends, Roby, she's gonna be on there as well. So it'll be full house next week. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And y'all have any parting words? Anything y'all want to?
Just thank you for having us on. And we appreciate your follow.
All right.
You know.
All right. All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.